Here's my second archetype analysis, focusing on ritual spam archetype. As in, the first one were Cyber Angels, and they were underwhelming to say the least, but these ones are a little better. They are the Prediction Princess monsters used by Miru from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, and yeah, they are all flip effect monsters. So yeah, an archetype based around flip effect monsters and also ritual spammers, so that is quite an interesting combination to say the least. And anyway, let's get going and start off with our first monster, that being Prediction Princess Koinorma. She's a level 3, all of them again are flip effects except the ritual monster. And this one, it has a flip effect that it can special summon one level 3 or higher flip effect monster from your hand or deck in face down defense position. Also, you cannot activate other monsters' effects for the rest of its turn except Prediction Princess monsters. Yeah, it should come to no surprise that this is a definite 3-off staple, since she searches out the entire archetype, except the ritual monster, of course, but she also searches out the Pot of the Forbidden, which is a level 9 flip effect monster, and disregarding its level, this thing is ran in any deck which runs the Pot of the Forbidden in order to make its place, because Pot of the Forbidden offers the effect of Pot of Greed, Raigeki, the Forceful Sentry, and Giant Trunade. Those 4 effects, I think. And since Koinorma can stupidly easy bring this out, it's often ran at least 2 Pot of the Forbidden in the Prediction Princess build, along with 3 of these. Yeah, you're not going to get trigger it during the same turn you set it if you target it with Book of Moon or something, or Book of Taiyu. But it just prepares you for the next turn, and it's sitting on a 3000 wall, the Pot of the Forbidden, so it's not going to get crushed that soon. So yeah, we're off to a fantastic start, so Koinorma gets a really nice pass. Next up, we have another flip effect monster, that being Prediction Princess Petal Leaf. And its flip effect is that you can change all face-up attack position monsters your opponent controls to face-up defense position. Monsters changed to defense position by this effect cannot change their battle position. Yeah, this is some sort of a prototype, well, not a prototype, but a version of Quaking Mirror Force in monster form. But the fact of the matter is that Quaking Mirror Force is actually better here, since it changes to face down defense position, which is admittedly better because you can by that since they're flipped face down, then they cannot change their battle position. It automatically acts as a skill drain for the opponent instead, since you cannot flip them up. So yeah, Petal Leaf is questionable to consider running, and what's the point of this effect? It actually combos with another monster of theirs, that being Prediction Princess Astro Morrigan. Its flip effect is that during the end phase of this turn, destroy as many defense position monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. I mean, destroying monsters set up by the effect of another monster and burning, it feels like GX in here. Anyone else? Well, anyway, this thing's only purpose is to pair it up with Petal Leaf in order to get the combo going, in order to clear the opponent field, but I'm just gonna level with you. If you really want to run one of each, and if you're a good player, then you just run Raigeki and Dark Hole instead of this. Moving on, we have Prediction Princess Aerosylph with a very simple effect. It's a first level 4, and it allows you to add 1 ritual spell card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And there is also Prediction Princess Crystaldyne, which does the exact same thing, only for ritual monster cards. But it's actually pretty much worse than Aerosylph, because for some imbecilic reason it's a level 5 monster. I don't know why. Yeah, basically you run these so you can fetch materials for the ritual monster, and yeah, you can actually do the same but better results with pre-preparation of rituals and preparation of rituals. Not to mention Manju and Senju are also a thing. So yeah, I mean, you can, though their boss monster synergizes with them if you keep them on the field, so you can search out more ritual spell cards and ritual monster cards. And keep in mind, it can be any ritual spells and any ritual monsters, meaning you can maybe make a Demise King of Armageddon turbo build, and Ruin Queen of Armageddon turbo build, basically any ritual monsters that you feel like summoning. Maybe the Doom Litmus Swordman with some powerful floodgate traps, such as, I don't know, I would prefer like Vanities before it got hit, but I'm not in a position to do that, so yeah. Alright, now their final monster is their Ritual Monster Prediction Princess Tarot Tray. It's a ritual monster, of course. It's a level 9 ritual monster for some reason. And you can ritual summon this card with Prediction Ritual, a card we'll mention soon. Once per turn during your end phase, you can special summon one flip monster from your hand or graveyard in face down defense position. You can only use one of the following effects of Prediction Princess Tarot Tray once per turn, and only once that turn. You can either target a face down monster and flip it face up, or target a face up monster and flip it face down. So basically what this is, it's their boss monster, which recycles every member of the archetype, and yeah, it works actually on any flip monster, so you can actually get some mileage on Pot of the Forbidden as well. Maybe the Stealth Bird, Man-Eater Bug, Raikou, any basically flip effect monster that you desire. I would say Jars as well. Morphing Jar is actually limited now, so yeah, you can actually build a deck using Morphing Jar and Tarot Tray, so you can keep like discarding your opponent's card and you keep drawing new ones and stuff. So yeah, basically the Morphing Jar deck out build is the best thing the Prediction Princess archetype has going for it. The only downside is that Koinorma cannot search Morphing Jar since it's a level 2 monster. So yeah, it's kind of a letdown in that point. Alright, now that we have Prediction Ritual, which is the archetypal ritual spell to summon specifically Tarot Tray, and it has an additional effect that during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, that you can banish it to add a Prediction Princess monster from your deck to your hand. Now this is actually a part where I would say that this is a very simple consistency boosting effect that you should always, of course, max on it. Well, you always should, since it's their only ritual spell card and Tarot Tray is their only ritual monster. The fact of the matter is that, well, that's the point. It's their only spell card, and you need their spell card if you want to make several Tarot Trays. Well, if you summon all 3 of them, then no problem. You can banish them all, search out some more Prediction Princesses for some link plays or something. So yeah, the choices are yours and on yours alone. So yeah, you always run 3. But be careful with the searching, because you can actually banish this prematurely and be left without the proper ritual spell for your plays next turn. And their final card is actually a trap card known as Black Catastrophe. And during your opponent's battle phase, if you control 2 or more face down defense position monsters, end the battle phase. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target 2 face up monsters on the field, including at least 1 Prediction Princess monster. Change them to face down defense position monster. Okay, so the only relevant thing about this card is that you can straight up end the battle phase if you control 2 face down defense position monsters, which is hilarious. However, I mean, if you run this, you would probably don't run it at more than once, since this kind of effect is actually pretty specific. And for the battle phase thing, I would actually advise the Electromagnet Turtle if you actually desire said effect to be pulled off, or something like Battle Fader or Swift Scarecrow. But although the Swift Scarecrow and Battle Fader shenanigans require your opponent to be attacking you directly, so might as well. Alright, now for, yeah, a bit of a tricky grading scale once again. Consistency purely depends on Koinorma's fantastic huge search pool, and since she can summon pretty much any flip effect monster in existence, she can actually summon some worm flip effect monsters if you're actually planning on building a worm hybrid ritual build for some whatever reason. So you can actually search some worms and flip effect monsters, so there's that. But in its own archetype, the other monsters are pretty underwhelming, so I'm gonna give them a 2 out of 3 there. Now power, I mean, 3 Tarot Tray is barely anything in the modern day, so you're going to have to rely on some third-party support to even get to the minimum power output you can actually use to OTK your opponents, so I'll throw in a 1 out of 3 there. Comeback ability, Pot of the Forbidden. That's the only relevant card that can score any relevant comeback if summoned with Tarot Tray's effect, Koinorma's effect, although in Koinorma's case you'll have to wait a turn before using its effect. Shallow Grave if you even run this card anymore in 2019. So yeah, very shaky comeback options, so 1 out of 3 there as well. They have no protection to speak of, I mean literally no protection, so 1 out of 3 there. Now the versatility, I'm actually going to be very generous and give them a 3 out of 3 because I've seen several Morphing Jar deck out turbo builds with Tarot Tray keeping the Morphing Jar revived, so this is that versatility is basically an anti-meta engine, so it's okay. Now Prediction Princess were well, most likely gonna be another anime gimmick thing that should have probably stayed in the anime, but if they get some nicely decent support, they might actually be a very nice ritual engine such as Incantations. So yeah, well, so what gadgets were for the machine decks and still are, maybe Prediction Princesses may be a helping hand in Incantation engine builds, so yeah, there's that. So anyway, those were Prediction Princesses, so thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, walkthroughs and updates. Comment, like and subscribe, and as usual I'll upload the next part whenever I can. See you all, have a good day, and peace.